And welcome to the Wednesday's Knightswatch. This is our post E3 recap of everything that would happen at E3. If you're new here, welcome. I've just realized we gained a couple subscribers over the past E3 week, the past 4 days. So, hello and welcome. I'm your host, King Black Cherry. With me, I have Mr. Etep. Just realized we gained.
What's up, everybody? I hope everybody's having a lovely week.
Absolutely. I also have with me Mr. The Real Ant-Man.
What's up, everybody? I hope you guys are ready to discuss some movies, some TV shows, some sports, and some video games. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's go. Indeed. All right. So, breaking news-wise, do we have anything breaking news? Breaking.
Seems like all the players in the NBA are breaking. Does that count?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all breaking right now.
Seems to be the way.
That is a good one.
Seems to happen when you don't have that long of an off season, I guess, or something.
Nope.
I don't know.
No, that's
But
probably
injury
what it
bug
is,
does happen.
So Chris Paul's out indefinitely. So I think Suns are out of contention of the. I can't see him winning without Chris Paul.
Slow your roll there. Slow your roll.
Are you serious, dude? Have you seen him?
Yeah.
Dude.
They beat the Lakers without him.
No, dude. That was the last game, dude. It was Chris Paul that wouldn't have beat the Lakers and all that last game. He really kept them poised.
Okay,
and
let's do this. Let's wait. Let's see what happens the next game, and then we'll start talking. Because Chris Paul's good, but if Chris Paul was that good, Pete, he would have won a championship already. And that's a fact.
Understandable, but I feel like him and Devin Booker, that backcourt is so good. I think that's the reason. Like, get Devin Booker's 3-point shooting and Chris Paul's court management. It's really the recipe of them winning right now. What's making them win right now?
Who are they taking on next?
Let's see. It's probably gonna be Utah. I'm guessing it's gonna be Utah because Kawhi Leonard's out now, and without Kawhi Leonard, I don't see the Clippers winning. So
again, you don't know what happened. They have Paul George. They have Rondo.
Kawhi's a man, dude.
He is. He's a baller.
He is a man, but he also takes load management.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, right now. So who do you got right now in the thick of things? You got Brooklyn, who got a couple injuries too as well, because Kyrie's out. I think Harden's out. So
Harden played last night.
His mind. Kevin Durant's playing out of his mind. But
Harden played last night. But go ahead.
But let's see. Who else you got? Who else you got in the playoffs right now?
You got Milwaukee. Who are they playing against?
76ers and the Hawks.
And that's tied up too. It's kind of, honestly, man, I don't know. It's really a toss-up right now who's going to win the championship, because I feel like any of these teams can win right now. With all the injuries that's happened right now, it's really a toss-up. I can't really predict because, like I said, these injuries right now definitely has changed. I think has changed the course and all. And now, Kawhi can come back soon. The Chris Paul is a huge hit, though. He's out indefinitely, so that's a huge hit for the Suns. But Kawhi could come back. I guess Harden and Kyrie could come back. So we don't know really what's going to happen. But right now, it's definitely makes things pretty interesting in the NBA playoffs.
I mean, Harden played last night, though. So he's back.
Did he?
Yes.
Well, he was hurt, though, wasn't he?
And there goes your internet. Yes, he was hurt, but he did play last night.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. Chris Paul's good, but I don't think he
makes the team.
No, I don't think so either.
And he's not like the facilitator.
I think as long as Devin Booker gets his looks, he'll be good. He'll be good.
He'll be fine.
It keeps on booting me out. My internet's fine. It just keeps on booting me out for some reason. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I still think it's kind of like up in the air right now. I'm not sure who's gonna take it all. I mean, right now, I guess your favorites you could say is Brooklyn, maybe.
I mean, the man put on a show last night.
But then the man at the same time he got shut down in the previous game. So, we'll see.
He played the whole game and shut. And he shut him down last night.
I know.
Did you not see the game last night? Did you not see the 48 minutes that Kevin Durant put up?
Oh, I know. I think because he had to. It's kind of one of those things where he had to come up and play. It's one of those things where
it's playoffs, Pete.
I know exactly. It is a playoffs, and every game matters. So, like, he had to come and play. So,
damn, he did put up a stat line last night. Let me tell you. Wow, James Harden put up a stat line last night too.
What's that?
1 for 10, 0 for 8 from 3-pointers.
That's being harder for you, dude. Every playoffs, man.
But seriously though, Durant put up a freaking line, dude. Yeah. Man, 49 points, 17 boards, 10 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks.
Yeah,
damn, that man was on fire last night.
Well, because you know what's funny, because the previous game, I think he played a bad game, and everybody's saying, "Oh, PJ Tucker got his number. PJ Tucker shut him down," and of course, when you say that, you got to come back the next game and show him what's up. You have to.
Yeah, Jordan used to do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. You have to.
But Jordan would even do it in halves. Like he gets shut down the first half, and the guy talking trash. He'll come back in the second half, and he'll just like get like almost 100 points on your ass.
Yeah.
Just because you were talking your mouth and running your mouth.
Yep.
Oh man.
That's sports for you, though. You have to.
I like that, though, man. I like that. I like that killer instinct. Because you know what, though, like not every player has that. But you know what? I know Durant has that because he has won championships.
You have to be alpha male in sports, man. If not,
like dude, I heard on the down low, man, Brady's like that, and you don't see it, but like I heard Brady's a freaking he's a killer on the sideline, man, silent assassin.
You've never seen him get pissed off and
yell? No, I have, but I heard when he's he'll talk so much shit to the other team, but we don't ever see that.
Oh yeah,
but
at the Super Bowl, he talked shit to the freaking to the corner, and then the corner's so shocked by it.
The only time I haven't, or the only time I personally remember seeing him talk shit was when he ran for a first down on Urlacher, and it was right in his face. Oh, first down, and I was like, oh shit, this man got balls. Gonna talk shit to Urlacher, he'll eat your lunch.
You have to, man. You have to. I mean, either talk shit or freaking just always perform. It's either or.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember listening to some stories from Strahan. He was always funny. He said he would come in and I think it was John Runyon. He used to be a right tackle for the Eagles. I guess he said or left tackle, whatever side he Strahan was on. He'd go against him. I guess the first play of the game, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this swim move and I'm gonna wreck your quarterback." And so he did exactly what he said, and he goes, "Now I can tell him anything for the rest of the game." And I'm in that motherfucker's head.
But so that's all it is, man. It's mind games.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's mind games, dude.
Oh man,
it's like Trae Young, right? I heard he's a big shit dog.
Oh yeah, he'll talk shit right to the crowd, and you won't even be fazed by it. And then he'll go "Oh, let me go ahead and shoot this 3 or shoot this free throw, and then let me go ahead and take a bow right in the middle of the court."
But like I said, though, it's all about having that strut, having that confidence. You need that as a player. You need to have that. It's it's motivation, to be honest. I mean, we've heard stories about how certain players. I mean, Jordan, for instance, used to come up with any reason to, for somehow he said this, he said that about me. And then, of course, it gives them motivation to play, harder in the next game. That's kind of how every player mentality is. They just make up stuff just to motivate themselves. So I mean, that's how it is, though. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like with Kevin Durant, that was just all motivation right there. People, you probably read the headlines, and he was like, "Okay, you know what? I'm going to come hard next game, and we should tell everybody what's up."
And for that, man, because I like Durant. I've always been a Durant fan. So
no, he's a great player. He's a great player. He's probably one of the best prolific scorers because it's so hard to guard him. His wingspan and everything else. And the fact that like he can shoot threes like nobody's business. The guy, yeah, he's a stud. I mean, what can you say?
Yeah. All right. Is anything else really?
Well, I know I don't know if you're paying attention to Euro Cup and all that, but that Swedish player the other day almost had a heart attack. Yeah, well, he had a heart attack. He almost died on the field the other day. I believe he's from Sweden. Forgot his name, Eriksson, I believe it was. Yeah, but he's okay now. He's recovering, but I'm pretty sure that's the end of his career. But it's a good thing is they had the doctors out there to resuscitate him because they saved his life. So,
oh wow.
But yeah, Euro Cup's going on right now. I know the Olympics will be around the corner too, so that's pretty good. We having these big, world events right now going on, so that's good. So,
yes.
But that's pretty much it. Nothing else. I got something for you guys. Oh, AEW is going to the NYC big stadium with Arthur Ashe Stadium over there in Queens, New York City, man. That's what's up. Big stadium.
You see how impressed we are?
Big stadium. What does it seat? Like 10,000 people?
Oh no, it's a 23,000 actually.
Oh, it's a big stadium. So SummerSlam this year is happening in Las Vegas, which houses probably like 100 and something thousand people.
Ooh, oh, okay.
Big stadium.
Yeah. SummerSlam though. That's the biggest event, man.
Dude, wait a minute. Hold on a second. What's this thing called? Arthur Ashe Stadium? You tell me it's bigger than the Barclays Center?
No, probably not.
So what's the big news?
What do you mean?
It's not even in MSG, the world's most famous sports arena.
Oh, probably because Vince McMahon has a hold on it. He probably wouldn't allow anybody to play.
Right, you don't come up. You don't go up north. Not in Vince's territory.
Which is funny though. I'm surprised they don't have no more MSG. These have all the time run.
I'll be honest with you, Pete. That's cool. It's a big venue. Would be cooler if it was at the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Hammerstein Ballroom is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, even though I know it's a small crowd, there's just something about like that arena that's just so cool.
Oh, there used to be Raw used to be there all the time. Remember that?
Remember that? And then when they did the ECW One Night Stands, I thought the first one was really cool there.
No, it was awesome, dude. Awesome experience and all that stuff. I just wanted to throw that out. That's all it was. I wanted to throw that out.
You could throw it right out, Pete.
I just love how it gets you all mad and all that.
It don't get
he's
me
mad. It's just like he's unimpressed. He's unmoved by it.
Of course he is, because but anything with like the
I will admit, I am impressed that Tony Khan spent 8 figures on making a video game. I will say I am impressed with that.
Dude, that's how much it takes to make a video game. So,
I mean. That's putting a lot of financial backing in it. So hopefully it's successful.
Hopefully it pays back. Yes.
Yeah.
But it has to be a good game.
Yeah.
It's not a good game.
I mean, the funny thing is though is WWE doesn't pay anything and actually make money by licensing their stuff.
Yeah,
so
but that's the problem though. Like with
they don't have creative control over it. That's
exactly.
the up in the air part of it.
Yeah, exactly. AEW's actually trying to make the game and trying to actually put they want to emphasize what they want in the game.
Yeah, because I gotta admit the last WWE games have been pretty shitty. So
I haven't liked any of the W games in a long time though. They
had a couple good ones. Like I had 13 I believe on PS4, and that was whatever the one with CM Punk on it. I liked that game. I thought that was a good game.
The one where they had CM Punk and then the old school Raw and everything?
Yeah, I thought that was a good game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying they have bad games. They have some good games, but I just hate some of their mechanics.
I don't think they've been good since they went to 2K. I can tell you that. What do you think, Chris?
They haven't been.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I hate going back to it, but No Mercy was one of the best wrestling games for me.
Yeah, that was the pinnacle, really. Honestly, I think that the pinnacle is not even that. I think the pinnacle was Def Jam Fight for New York. If you really want to be honest with you, I thought that was the best wrestling / fighting game that they ever made.
Yeah. That was great.
I love Def Jam Fight for New York.
I don't understand why they went away with that engine, dude. I would have kept on going with that engine. That would have been great. You know, they would have so many great wrestling games after that. But well,
what was your favorite wrestling game, Chris?
I mean, the only thing I really remember was SmackDown. Really.
Wait, are you, like the later ones or the PS1 ones?
The PS1 ones.
Those ones were bad.
I remember I enjoyed the crap out of them.
Oh no, like they were fun in the moment, like, but if you're comparing them to like WCW, like the N64 versions, like the N64 ones were a lot better.
I mean,
now they got better.
16 with Brock Lesnar on it, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't bad.
I didn't play that one.
You know, Here Comes the Pain was pretty good. I heard. Here Comes the Pain actually.
Was that a PS2 one?
I think it was PS2 though.
Yeah, the PS they got better on PS2. They got a lot better on PS2. The SmackDown.
I want to say Here Comes the Pain and all else in 2001, 2002 was pretty good.
So it was funny because at a point they were doing 3 exclusive games, right? They were making like Day of Reckoning for GameCube,
which I heard was a good game too.
It was pretty good. They did SmackDown for PlayStation, and then they did Raw for Xbox. So the Raw for Xbox, it was the worst, like, for the actual in-game engine. Had the coolest feature though. The creator wrestlers, you could actually put your own music in there. So you can take a CD, put your track on there, and then put it to your entrance. And I was like, I wish that was still available to today because that's so cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
But I don't know. I just hope I want to see a really good wrestling game. Honestly, that's one thing I've been dying to play, a really cool wrestling game.
Yeah.
You haven't really had anything. You don't really have too many of the options. That's why I don't mind AEW making a wrestling game because I feel like that's a good option out there. So we'll see what happens. So
we shall see. All right, next up, this week in gaming subscriptions, Anthony.
So on Epic, today's the last day to get Control on the Epic Game Store. I highly recommend getting it. I haven't played it, but it's gotten plenty of Game of the Year press for it when it first came out, and it is in the same world as Alan Wake, and I just played through Alan Wake, and Alan Wake is great. So I could imagine that it's going to be a pretty darn good game. I am trying to see if they announced what was coming to Epic next week. They did. Awesome. Overcooked 2 will start tomorrow afternoon, and as well, you're getting 2 of them. You're getting Hell is the Other Demons, or Hell is Other Demons. Sorry. Yeah. Then on Xbox Game Pass, you are getting Dark Alliance, comes out next Tuesday, and the update for Sea of Thieves with the Captain Jack Sparrow. It will be out on Tuesday as well.
All right.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
There you go. Also, as well, starting tonight will be Season 4 for your Call of Duty Battle Pass. So,
very cool.
That is
and they did announce, I don't know if you guys have been playing Knockout City, but it's not coming out till next month, but they're doing their first event. It's called the Heatwave event, and it's July 22nd it starts. So
no, I didn't.
That'll be fun.
That'd be fun. Not noticed that. So let's go into our E3 recap. What surprised us, what we didn't like, all that kind of stuff. So I start off by saying the fact that I believe that Xbox had a better conference.
I agree with that. I would say that they were the conference of the show.
Of course, I agree with that.
I mean, Pete.
They did, though. They did. They actually did.
Where are we going with this?
Of course, he agrees with that. He would agree with regardless. No, they did.
No, I don't think I would agree regardless. I think that my honest opinion is they pushed Game Pass, and Game Pass was the winner. They showed their advantages of Game Pass, and that's what they pushed.
I mean, the thing is, though, and you have to understand, though, not everybody is going to be subscribing. Not everything. Not everybody will be about Game Pass, even though they probably should do it. Not everybody will do it. Now, sure, did they give you options to say this is all going to be on Game Pass? So yeah, sure, they did sell Game Pass. I agree with you. I don't think that Game Pass is the same for everybody, but I do think though they give them what they did is say, hey, listen. If you really want all these games for a price every month, this is where to go, and it's going to come on day one. Sure, they definitely did a good job selling Game Pass to everybody. I agree with that 100%.
All right, so let's take Game Pass out of the situation.
Yes.
Game Pass out of it. They showed 30 games, Pete, in 90 minutes.
No, you know what's funny though? So what they did is exactly what we talked about, what they should have done. Because when we saw Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest, it was a great show. We actually enjoyed it. It went smooth. They showed a lot of
they showed games. They showed a lot of world premieres. There was no awkward silence. There was no stopping. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this. It was continuation games.
The only part was the Hideo Kojima thing. What it just felt like. I mean, he didn't really give us anything. He just it was an interview.
I thought that was weird because it was slow, and then it was just to announce a remake.
It is, but they're like best friends, so you kind of get the fact that something was going to happen with that. So you're like, okay, this is just your best friend. You come bringing him in, kind of like a Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson kind of a thing. You're like, oh yeah, you guys are good friends. So yada yada yada, and then we'll just move on.
No, they want to keep a good relationship with Kojima. If he has any big reveals, it'll be through Jeff Keighley. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense to have that. But overall, that show was great. So Xbox kind of followed suit what they did and did that. A bunch of world premieres back to back to back to back to back, Now, some of the games were 2022. I mean, it's just something I got to mention because some of those games were 2022. But in the same time, you got expectations of exactly what's going to happen. I mean, really, when you think about it, so you got the fall time, and then you're going right straight to next year. So it gives you tons of games to play till from now till then. So I thought they definitely had the best conference, hands down. Now, is it the best game that they had? Did they have the best reveal? I don't know. That's hard to say from my perspective. I could have.
Okay, what reveal shocked you the most?
I like Guardians of the Galaxy, to be quite honest. Even though it could have been, I would have rather have been played all those characters. I thought it was pretty cool that they revealed as a game. And I'll take that back because I don't really play that many games, but I do like also the Captain Jack Sparrow and Sea of Thieves. I thought that was pretty cool too. So those are the two things that, to me.
Really, I'm surprised you didn't go Mario Rabbids too.
I never played the first one.
Still,
so I'm not big on the game because I never played the first one. So I'm not really big in tactics games.
So I'll give you my top 3 of the show. Like I thought, I would say Microsoft, then I would say Nintendo's conference, then Jeff Keighley's show. I thought that'll be my top 3. Then my game. So I'll give you my biggest surprise game. I would say Mario Rabbids 2 was probably the biggest surprise game that we've seen gameplay of. Let's say that, because I think Avatar takes the cake for biggest surprise.
I totally forgot about Avatar. That was actually a good one too.
But again, we didn't see any gameplay, so I don't know. What is the game?
Yeah,
we don't even know. But I mean, that would probably be I didn't expect an Avatar game, and it was cool. It was a cool CG trailer. For best actual game that I seen though, I would say Forza Horizon 5 was the best, best
looking game.
Yeah, and the fact that that's still running on last gen hardware and that's an upgrade, I was just like, whoa, that's when they actually start getting PS5 and Xbox Series X exclusives down the road in a year or two, we're gonna see some damn good looking games.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So I'll go with mine. Conferences would be Xbox, Jeff Keighley show, then Nintendo. Worst ones, I'll say Bandai Namco, because that was a waste of time.
What's weird? Why didn't they show more Elden Ring? People seem super hyped about that on the Jeff Keighley show. It's their game. Why not show a little bit more of it?
I don't know. Was a waste of time. Capcom was a waste of time.
Yep. Square Enix pretty much was too.
Yeah, Square Enix.
Guardians.
Those three. Besides Guardians, yeah. But I would say that games wise, it would be Avatar, Guardians. I mean, if you want to throw Forza in there, Sure, yeah, I'll throw Forza in there. Top 3. But like, I wasn't expecting the Metroid game.
That was pretty cool, actually.
Wasn't expecting it, but is also like a slap in the face because Metroid 4 Prime 4 has been announced like years ago, and it's like, oh, we're not done making a game, but here's your apology game. It's like, all right.
That you know what's funny about that game? So that game's actually had a pretty crazy history. You know that game was actually canceled twice.
Which one?
Metroid Dread.
Oh, Dread.
So that game was originally announced in 2005.
Wow.
Yeah, so it finally made the light of day eventually, and
16 years.
Now don't get me wrong. Like, I'm a huge Metroid fan. Love 2D Metroid. Super Metroid's one of my favorite games of all time. In 2021, I've seen better looking Metroidvania games out there than that. And you know, I was talking a little bit with a friend of the show, Ryan Raymond, you know, Superfly Rhino, and the thing is like I told him too, and I said, you know, 20 years ago when I was a hardcore Nintendo fan, I could see the difference between Nintendo quality and the rest. Now, Nintendo doesn't have that anymore.
No.
Everybody makes games, if not better, just as good as Nintendo. So like, so I look at Nintendo now, and you're showing me like remakes, like Battle, not Battalion Wars, Advance Wars.
Advance Wars.
You're showing me a new WarioWare. You're showing me, what else did they show?
Mario Party.
Another Mario Party a year later. Mario
Super
Golf.
Monkey Ball.
Well, that's Sega, but that's funny too. If you see my post, that was hilarious. I said, "Hey, Nintendo, you know what else is at 20-year anniversary? Pikmin. Guess who loves their franchise more? Yeah, Sega." Anyways, I digress. But you know, it's just there was no banger for me on the Nintendo one. Yeah, you showed Zelda, but you didn't show me anything.
Well, I do feel though that their Nintendo, what they're doing is going with smaller titles. They're pushing smaller titles. Their big titles are still working on those.
I get that, but you just had Ratchet and Clank. You have Horizon coming from Sony. We got our big bangers.
You gotta understand though, like the fact is, like they even said it right before they did the COVID has affected their way of.
But COVID affects every company equally.
I know, but in Japan,
so Metroid Prime 4 affected them quite literally for 4 years. So you were like, oh yeah, you know, we're not done with the game that we announced 4 years ago, but you know. It's okay. COVID happened.
Because Metroid Prime, I don't know what happened with that. The Metroid Prime game, they had to. Like,
well, they rebooted it. They took it, like, originally Bandai Namco was making it, and they took it away from them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they have somebody else doing it.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why the delay and all that.
No, I understand. Okay, what about Bayonetta 3?
That I can't explain to you.
No More Heroes 3.
But I do think though, like the Japanese companies have been affected way more than the American companies.
Okay, fine.
I can tell because like the conferences and everything else about it. Like really, when you look at it, like I feel like I want to say Ubisoft actually been doing pretty well putting out games out there.
But even Mario Rabbids is 2022. Like, name me one banger from Nintendo that's coming out this year for the rest of the year.
Well, I'm trying to explain to you that.
No, but I'm saying you got Halo. You have Forza Horizon. You have Horizon Zero Dawn.
Who makes these games, by the way? Which companies make these games? I'm actually curious.
So one you had Guerrilla Games. One you have Insomniac. One's 343.
Where's it located?
What does that matter?
Everybody's working from home. It doesn't matter.
They're located in all different places, Pete.
In the United States?
No, they're outside of the United States.
I will let you know.
I'm actually curious because I want to see though. Like how it, you know, like different like areas and how were affected. Because I know, like I said though, I feel like COVID definitely affected a lot of these. I'm
guessing 343 Studios is probably in Washington. Yeah, Redmond, Washington, because that's Microsoft's studio. So that's who makes Halo. Let's see, who makes Forza? Playground Games.
That sounds right.
Playground Games is located in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
Or is it no? Turn 10 makes the motorsport, so it is Playground Games. Okay, then you got Insomniac, which I think is in California.
Mm-hmm.
and which has very strict COVID rules, by the way.
Yeah,
so the Los Angeles, and then Gorilla. I want to say they're in UK too, right?
I think so, yeah. And Ubisoft is literally everywhere, all around the globe.
And the one that's making the Rabbids games from France.
Yeah.
Actually, Guerrilla Games from the Netherlands. They're Dutch. So.
Yeah, I think Japan has been more strict. I feel that's why they pushed their games back, because they probably had more stricter when it comes to COVID.
And that's fine, but Nintendo has studios.
Definitely tough from like
Japan doesn't have the only one. Nintendo doesn't have the only one studio in Japan, Pete.
Yeah, they have.
That's
they just bought one. What was it like? What was the one that made the Luigi's Mansion? For One Up Games, was that what it's called, or First Level, or here? I'll look it up.
Yeah, but okay, so
Luigi's Mansion 3 was Next Level Games, which is main games, like Vancouver, Canada.
Okay, so their main games, the ones that they're it's based in Japan, aren't they?
I get it, man.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate here because I'm
I understand, but like the thing is they have other studios, they have third party like relationships like that they can use.
But we can't be so judgmental of something. We're expecting, hey, why isn't all this stuff coming up? Guys, we went through a pandemic. Movies been pushed back. Video games been pushed back. It's that's kind of the world we're living right now. Unfortunately, we will get everything eventually, but right now we got to understand we went through a pandemic. A lot of places shut down for a bit. You know what I'm saying? People have been quarantined for a bit. So this is what we're getting right now because of that. Now, if there was none of this happened, I would have been like, what the hell? Why are they come up with
But Pete, you're taking it like it's a personal attack. We're just saying that they didn't have any bangers.
We just didn't enjoy their. We should have, and we should have high expectations because guess what, guys? This is the world
I think as a company that has had the highest selling hardware for the past 31 months, they have a little bit of money to play with that they can go buy exclusives if they really want to.
I understand that, and you know what though, and that's fine. I try to be like more understanding because I understand like, hey, look, this shit happens. Whatever. What are you gonna do? I wish they get out of all these games. That'll be great. That'll be awesome and all that stuff. But at the same time, I can be like, you know what, this happens. What are you gonna do? It's more like you gotta wait and see, and hopefully in the next.
Yeah, I'm not personally offended that they didn't bring out any bangers, Pete. I'm just saying that Microsoft had bangers, Sony has bangers, Nintendo doesn't.
But I do think it's because of because of certain things like that. I do feel like it's certain reasons because of that. Yeah, I have a feeling.
I agree. And better pacing of games probably would help too.
And like I said, I'm not trying to make no excuses and all that stuff. It's like, but at the same time, I can understand like certain regions around the world like are more affected than others.
Yeah,
and certain regions around the world might be more like inclined to be like, hey, listen, we're not going to risk anybody's lives. Let's stay home. Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what's going on. So
but everyone's working from home. Every other studio is working from home.
I mean, yeah, some do, some don't. I can't really explain how this whole thing works, to be quite honest. That's what I'm saying. Though. It's not like there's no explanation of how this thing works. All I can tell you is I can understand why things like this happen. It's the same thing with the movie theaters and pushing back like movies till like years from now, like a 1 year or 2, whatever. Like some of these companies been like, hey, we're not going to put our movie out right now because, even though theaters might be open, we're not going to make that much money. So let's push back to next year. And that's what's happened. We're really set back for like at least a couple of years with a lot of stuff that's supposed to come out. So I can't just go over to be like, hey, well, come this has come. It has, it's expected. This is unfortunately what we've dealt with right now. So, like I said, eventually we'll get all this stuff, but it's just more of a, just wait and see kind of thing, I can't, like I said, though, it's this whole year sucked. So hopefully by whole, or a year and a half, I should say, or yeah, about a year, more than a year. But anyway, hopefully by the wintertime, we'll get all, our movies, our video games, and everything else is coming.
The movies are already coming. You got Quiet Place 2 dropped. I mean, you got Black Widow coming.
Fast
and Furious. Yeah, we're getting those. But it's the same with the games. We're getting those also. We're getting those games eventually. We're going to get all those games eventually too. So
again, Pete, we're not personally attacking Nintendo.
No, I'm not saying we're
making observations, man.
You guys, I think the reason why we would have got Breath of the Wild 2 this year But I think it's because of all this crap that's happening.
I still don't think we would have, Pete. I really don't.
No.
I think we would have.
I don't think so.
We haven't got a name.
Yeah,
supposedly they said the reason why they don't want to give us a name is because it'll reveal the whole game.
So here's my question: are they not going to give us the name until we pop the disc in the first time? Because what difference does it make if you give it to me now or if you give it to me 2 years from now?
I mean, do you really want to? I mean, do you really want to know the name? I mean,
why not? If you already know the name, but you're holding it back because you don't want to spoil anything, but you're going to tell us before it releases anyways, I mean. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Wouldn't you want to know that what the title of the game is, just in case if it did spoil anything, be like, oh crap, let's get this word out there, and people will get hyped for the game, and then, you know what, that will bring our pre-orders up, and you know what, we can actually bring out maybe since components are low and kind of things like that, we could possibly bring out a Switch Pro, and you know, we can bundle that together, and we can sell them both together. Here you go.
I could get I could get why like movies would wait, or like for instance, like I know Marvel's waited a few times, but that's because they have to release other games other movies first, because then it would spoil the movies you're watching.
Dude, they did that with Endgame. Remember? They did that with Endgame. We're like, oh, what's the title of the movie? And we're like, and the funny thing about Endgame, it doesn't really reveal anything, honestly. It didn't reveal, for some reason, they didn't want to put it at the title. I don't know why they didn't want to put it, because it didn't reveal anything. It's just like Endgame. Oh, that makes sense. It's the end of the whole, series, or the whole, so.
Yeah, I think they waited for Civil War for a while to release that name.
Civil War made sense though, because we already know the storyline.
But it makes sense to hold off on it, because then you know the whole direction the franchise is going.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like I get it when that happens, but there's not another Zelda game coming out from here to the others, like Breath of the Wild. So why not just release the name?
5 or 6 years from now.
Like I said, I don't know. Nintendo is very keeps everything close to the chest, I guess, when it comes to their reveals. Like they don't reveal a lot of stuff. Like for instance, like I said, we didn't know about this Metro game. They reveal out of nowhere. Let me ask you something about the Metro game, though. So did you already know when we had revealed? Did you know this was a game that was supposed to come out 2005, or did you have to look it up?
I remember hearing the name around the knows, the people that know. I've heard the name Metroid Dread a few times. I didn't know the history of the cancellations and stuff. I just knew that around the interwebs that they've talked about Metroid Dread for a long time. And I've known this for years, but and everyone's like, oh, Metroid Dread's being shown off, and nope, never got shown off. And it was just, through the years, and then they finally showed it off, and it definitely doesn't look like something that was 15 years in the making.
Well, I don't think it was 15 years in the making.
No, I know it's been scrapped a few times. And did they ever say who was developing it?
No,
I don't think so.
I'd be curious to find out who's developing.
Have Retro Games?
I know Retro's the one that's now working on Metroid Prime. That's they took the game away from Bandai and gave it back to Retro.
They should have had Retro do it in the first place.
Yeah, that had to be.
I don't understand why that's one thing I understand. They should have had them do it in the first place. They did the first 3 great.
So Mercury Steam is the one that's developing it, who has also made Space Lords in 2017, which came out on all the systems.
Never heard of it.
No.
It's a online free-to-play action-adventure game. They also did Metroid Samus Returns on the 3DS, so that makes sense. That was a good game. So they did good there. Castlevania Lords of Shadows they did. They also did Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate. They also did Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Clive Barker's Jericho, and American McGee presents Scrapland. No, they did Scrapland, which I heard was a good game, just never played it.
Okay, so they make good games.
Yeah, I wonder if Nintendo has purchased them. No, they are independent, and they are 40% owned by Nordisk Film, which is a Danish entertainment company.
Okay.
Interesting. I'm sure Nintendo will probably, since they have now giving them their second Metroid game, I'm sure Nintendo is going to probably be buying some shares of their stock if I had to guess.
Probably.
That's how good it is against the game, huh?
I mean, the first one did pretty. I mean, the Samus Returns did pretty well. So, yeah. Overall, I've been seeing some people say online that we don't need E3. I don't agree with that. I think E3 is still necessary. I think Summer Games Fest is still necessary. I just think that it will be better when the COVID and pandemic stuff's back and everyone's back and they're making more games. I do think that a lot of game companies can learn a thing or two from watching the Summer Games Fest presentation or the Microsoft presentation or even the Nintendo Direct presentation.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I wasn't a fan of most of the stuff in the Nintendo Direct, but it was still paced well.
Yes.
No, it was paced very well. It's just unfortunate. Like, I know you guys didn't like the reveals. I thought you guys wanted something much more juicier. You know,
I like juicy, Pete.
Give me something. Give me a reason to pick up my system.
Basically,
no, I understand that. No, and I agree.
I went in, Pete, looking for a filet mignon, and you know what I walked out with? A freaking hamburger from McDonald's. That's what happened.
That's a little bit too much. I think that's a little bit too.
Okay, fine. We're expecting a. This is E3. This is the E3. This is E3. This is probably one of the biggest stages of the year outside of the Game Awards. Come in, guns blazing, show your thing off, show why we should buy a Switch.
Yeah. Let me ask you. Hold up. So let me ask you something, guys. Did they even show No More Heroes 3 footage on that?
No.
But they had a No More Hero 3 treehouse, though. I noticed that.
They did have a treehouse for it. Yeah, I know.
I'm kind of thinking of why didn't it show footage of No More Heroes on your sizzle reel?
That would have been nice and juicy for us. We would have enjoyed that.
But that's what I'm saying.
Let's show off a game that was showed off the day beforehand.
But they have a No More Theory, like a treehouse, like for 30 minutes. They showed footage against the No More Heroes.
So one of the podcasters and guys I follow from Kind of Funny, Paris, he's actually hosting a treehouse kind of thing for Microsoft tomorrow. So I'm pretty ecstatic about that. Thanks for sharing that with me, Chris, too, when it first got announced. Yeah, he's a really good host. So I enjoy listening to his podcast, and he does spaces on Twitter a lot that I'll join in and listen to him. So yeah. I enjoy his stuff, and I'm looking forward to it, and it's kind of cool to see to see Microsoft kind of taking that route, because I always thought that the Nintendo Treehouse was one of the cooler things in E3 because it actually showed gameplay, which a lot of the times we complain about is not seeing enough gameplay, but you actually get to see gameplay of all the games.
Here's my question though. So do you think E3 matters a lot? It seems to matter to us. But do you think it matters a lot to these video game companies?
I'm going to say yes for Microsoft at least, because I've seen people today saying that they went to GameStop and they seen people purchasing Xboxes saying they purchased it because of their E3 performance. They said after what they showed at E3, that they decided they wanted to get an Xbox. So I think, in what perfect time to get more stock out there,
because I think that they did that on purpose.
Oh yeah. I mean, it makes sense business wise for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, I asked you this because PlayStation wasn't even there. Sony wasn't even there to do anything.
To be honest with you, if they don't have anything to show off, why show up?
Yeah, I think they were in the same position as, let's say, a Square Enix, where they had Horizon, which they did show off prior, but they would have been bringing Horizon, and they might have one or two or three littler games planned for the end of the year. Now, if they show that, they're gonna look they would look worse than if they don't show up at all, in my opinion.
But that's what I'm saying. I think this E3 is really almost it's better. Well, last year we didn't even get one, I don't think. But last year was no E3. Yeah, there was no E3. So this year it was kind of like a whatever one. I think next year will be a lot better because you actually will have tons of stuff, presentations and all that thing. I think what really you got to look at it is, like you said, I think PlayStation doesn't have anything right now. They're probably working on stuff. Nintendo usually has directs throughout the year, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna have other big reveals throughout the year. Nintendo,
Sony would do their state of plays throughout the year. I mean,
exactly, and that's another thing. Sony's doing state of plays, Nintendo's doing directs. They don't really need E3 as much as Xbox. I think
E3
really
probably needs them.
Yeah, exactly. So I do think, though, when you look at it, that's why they don't look. I don't think companies like Nintendo and PlayStation don't look at it like as something like, oh man, we really need to have a huge show, because they know like throughout the year they're gonna put little directs and state of plays and show some more games, and that's what they're gonna do. And I feel like that's like Nintendo's done that throughout though. They usually have E3s, which is not like great, but then they'll like out of nowhere they come up with direct and reveal this game. Where like, oh crap, we didn't know that game's coming out. So they do that a lot, and I think for me though, that's what they're probably gonna do. It's all these companies for that matter. I don't think they see this as a end all to their like, oh shit, we better come out and do something, or else we're not gonna sell any games throughout the year. They know that regardless of what happens, whatever they put up a game, people are gonna buy it.
No, but I still think it's necessary for the gaming industry as a whole to get together and have an event in the summer.
Yeah,
it is necessary, but it's not as necessary as it used to be.
All to be all.
It's not as necessary as it used to be. I think with internet, with like streaming, and everything else that's happening, like YouTube, all these things. I think nowadays, video game companies can get Twitter. They can get out. They can get announcements out. And people can find out about things.
Well, I think once we're back live and in person at E3 and they actually have fans there, I think it'll be different.
Different, yes. You get
because then you actually get to go there. But I say you get to try out the games, but I mean the Xbox just did a demo with the game, a demo like fest with summer in conjunction with Summer Games Fest where they had 40 demos you could play. Yeah. So I mean,
it's not like. It's not as big as it used to be.
Like, yeah, but I still think going and meeting the developers is really cool because I know Chris, you went up to PAX and you got to say like that was probably a really cool experience getting to meet the developers.
Just being in the room with like 50 other. I'm exaggerating. I'll say maybe 20,000 people that are like me. That's excited about video games.
Yeah,
and then you have indie developers. Doesn't matter if they're indie or not. You have developers there who want to show it forward, be like, "Hey, come, let me show you my game." And they're really excited. They're passionate about what they're talking about their game or not, and you're excited to play it because just the fact of their passion of what they said what they worked on for past like year or so. And he's like, "Here we're bringing it to the show. Here you go. Like, try it out, man. Here you go." One game, for instance, that I really wanted to play afterwards was Kona. I still have not played that game, but I remember playing that game, and I freaking loved that demo.
Is that the adventure game where it's like it's like basically it's like a walking simulator where you're like looking for stuff, and then you could drive like a truck?
Yeah,
I have played it. It's really good.
Yeah, I played that at PAX like years ago. Like I played Overwatch years ago. I played was it Y23, Y2K, or whatever?
Yeah, Y2K. Yeah,
years ago.
But yeah, I still think festivals are necessary. I think E3 will be better once everyone's back in person. But I definitely think there should be an E3, even if they team up with Summer Games Fest. Do that. Why not? Let Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest kick off E3 week, and then you know what I'm saying? Like get together, join forces if you need to. Make it a celebration of video games during the summer, and then we'll get our celebration of video games in December at the Game Awards. It's nice every 6 months to be able to check in and see what we're doing, see what's going on, and as fans, like. I still get excited. Even though I was disappointed by a lot of the conferences this year. I mean, it's still fun to just get live stream it, do our reactions, see what's going to be announced.
I just think though it's fun it's good. It's big for us. I don't think it's big for the video game companies because there's other ways you can get certain announcements out there.
There is, but I think when they all get together and collectively do it together, all eyes are on the industry. So
like with indie games, it's harder for them to come out and be like,
it is.
Hey, Gary, this is our game. when Sony or Microsoft or even Nintendo for that matter will just put up literally their trailer on their YouTube page, and people will just pass it by, not really watch it. But if they're watching a conference where everybody else is tuning in, and you see that game live, and you're like, "Oh wow, that's actually a pretty cool game," and it'll sell like hotcakes, probably better than it would than a press release.
Yeah, I just feel like I said, it has changed a lot and throughout the years. Like I don't think video game companies look at it like as much as we do anymore, like that, like in importance. I do think that that's what you can tell. I mean, the fact that PlayStation, Sony wasn't there, it tells me something.
So I'll give you an example too to kind of jump on what Chris said. The game Replaced on the Xbox show. That game looked fantastic. Indie developer, done by 2 studios, Coatsink and Sad Cat Studios. You ever heard of either one? Me neither. No. But the game looks great. It was on Xbox's show. People know their name. People know their game.
Well, it matters a lot to indie games, 100%, because they got to get their stuff out. It matters a lot to them. I'm saying for big developers, it doesn't matter. Because like I said, they're going to get their games sold out anyway. They're going to get their games, like, regardless, it's going to sell. I mean, I'm pretty sure if Take-Two's release Grand Theft Auto 6, that's going to sell millions, regardless of where they place it or how they,
But you're talking about like a sequel to like the best-selling franchise of all time. I'm saying you're using the worst possible point, though.
I'm saying indie developers matters a lot. Like small developers matters a lot. Big developers, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I would say even Ubisoft, like when they made the new Watch Dogs, I could say that probably didn't sell as well as they wanted it to, but that would have been the time for them to sell it.
I think though games like that, games are different, definitely need a showcase. I'm saying like other games, like big announcements, they don't need to, like, you know what I'm saying, like big sequels, big games.
Yeah, I mean that's like, does Coke really need to put an ad in the Super Bowl? No. People can buy Coke.
They still do, but
yeah, but I mean people are gonna buy Coke regardless.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I'll give you that. There are like regardless games, and Zelda was a regardless game. Did we need to see that little bit of Zelda? No, we really didn't. To be honest with you,
I was excited.
I was glad we did too, and it looks phenomenal. But I'm just saying it's like that game's gonna sell to me no matter what they showed me. They at the end of that trailer.
Yep.
All right. We're moving on from E3, guys. We had fun. There's actually more stuff coming up through the summer though, so we'll be talking video games. EA has something in July. I'm not sure if any other studios have anything, but I know EA. Yeah.
But all right, so moving on from E3. First trailer X. Boom, 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 boom.
Let's go.
I need to exchange some books.
Come.
Well, girl.
You'll need a Jane Austen,
A Virginia Woolf.
And an Agatha Christie.
Your talents are needed.
For reading.
Your talents are needed. Somebody stole from us. We need that money back.
Let's change of plan. They kidnapped an 8-year-old girl. I can't leave her to die.
Oh, you know the truth. Give the kill order.
Some bad men are coming to hurt us. We have to go where it's safe.
Okay.
I'm gonna teach you to always guard your back. Hi, Mom. My grandmother. God, no. Where have you been for the last 15 years? Around, making sure you're safe.
I'm gonna do terrible things to you girls.
We're gonna bring the sky down on their heads.
If I get out of this alive, I'm coming for you.
Oh, damn it.
I'm gonna make a little noise.
get infected. Worms will get in there and lay eggs, and then they'll have to cut your arm off.
That's what they teach you in school these days?
Gunpowder Milkshake.
I'm excited. Would it be horrible to say that that's what that terrible Zack Snyder movie should have been?
Oh, you talking about
Army of the Dead?
No.
No.
What was it called back in the day?
No, I know what you're talking about.
It was like around 2010.
Sucker Punch.
Yeah, Sucker Punch.
Oh, that one.
I feel like it's like the. I feel like it's the same kind of.
Sucker Punch.
I feel like it's the same kind of presence though, where you have like badass like chicks, with guns, kind of same deal.
But it wasn't even that, was it?
No, it was just freaking awful, dude.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we need the Snyder cut of it. Maybe if he makes it 36 hours with 24 hours of slowdown, it'll be good.
We're gonna get director's cuts of everything nowadays, even the worst movies, just to kind of.
I know. I'm seeing like the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever. What is that? Like things we don't need for 1,000, Alex.
Kind of Mrs. Doubtfire. So I mean, there's that.
Oh man,
the poor guy's not even alive anymore, Schumacher. So what do we need again? Let's just leave it alone, man. He's done some good movies. Unfortunately, Batman and Robin and Batman Forever was not one of them. So
no, but Gunpowder Milkshake does look good. Does look good.
And good actors too.
That'll be a day one for me on Netflix. I really think it looks good. I'll definitely watch
it. That's the same day that the whole Fear Street stuff comes out.
Really?
I'm gonna be a busy guy in July.
Yeah, I think that's same week is when that starts. All right, so we were both all three of us are excited for Gunpowder Milkshake.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. So, story came out a couple of days ago. DC, I don't know if you've heard the news. DC won't let Batman become a man.
Heroes don't do that, Chris.
Heroes don't do that.
So there's this isn't a comic, right?
No, this is for Harley Quinn's TV show on HBO Max.
So let's just say they took the pun of Batman and Catwoman a little too far, whereas Batman, wants to go south, and so WB said, heroes don't do that.
And then everyone and their mother was like, "Huh? What?"
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's dumb.
It's ridiculously dumb. So dumb. It's an act that couples do. So it's dumb.
Yeah. And you know Batman's doing that.
Yeah.
you know he's a billionaire playboy.
He's just in there like, I'm Batman.
You know how many ladies he has? Like he has Catwoman, he has who else does he have? Vicky Vale.
Ivy.
Yeah.
Before she became Poison Ivy, probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, man, he always has lady
Katie Holmes'
friends.
character, Rachel Dawes.
So
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like sometimes big companies like they have their IPs are very protective for their IPs for whatever reason. So I think when somebody is trying to do something with some of their work, they have sort of rules you can't break, you can't do.
Oh.
It's funny though. So I remember when they what was it, DC versus Mortal Kombat, right? They had those games. They wouldn't allow any fatalities. You know what I'm saying? Because of that, I believe NetherRealms want to do fatalities and I want to be like but they wouldn't allow it because they don't want to see like their characters be killed like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Batman and Superman, so they didn't allow that. So that's why it was like the fatalities were really cheesy and all that in that game. I don't know, they're just very protective for whatever reason. It's stupid that they say they can't do this, but it's whatever. It's their property. I guess they can do whatever they want. If they think that this is too much, they don't want the Batman to be depicted this way, That
I think we're just commenting about the ridiculousness of it.
It is ridiculous. But
when you have a TV show that is pretty much like South Park, but DC wise on your platform, but you're not gonna allow something like this.
Yeah,
you're gonna allow a woman dressed up in skink clothing and call herself Harley Quinn and like become like the new face of costume of Halloween for years to come. But this draws a line. An act in couples draws a line.
I guess I just want to know what heroes do.
Well, dude, if you want to know that, then just watch The Boys.
I did watch The Boys.
I'm just saying though, they do all of this like
Well, in The Boys, that act could kill you.
Yeah. Yes, they actually did. That's what I'm saying though. It's funny, like it's if you watch The Boys or even read the Boys comic books, they pretty much go all deep into that shit.
I don't know why, but I just that like when I heard that, like I just picture like Christian Bale in American Psycho looking at himself in the mirror. Like I don't know, I don't know why that's like the first thing that came to my mind about Batman. Like, so is that what heroes do? Yeah. He's like Bruce Wayne's all like, yeah.
I mean, it's just so ridiculous. It's so like, huh?
Yeah, it's. I'm just like, what?
This is so ridiculous. So I was going down on it. Heroes don't do that.
You know what's funny? It's kind of changing subject, but it's funny. So they have that MODOK show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of, I think it's done by the Robot Chicken people, whatever. And they like I guess the guy's getting interviewed. The guy who does that, and he was saying like, I guess he had a list of characters he want to use for the show. And he thought like he'll get rejected with some of those characters. He's like, because you know how the show is, like pretty much makes fun of all these characters and this and that. And he thought like some characters would be like, oh, let's ask for Iron Man, or we're not gonna get it, but let's ask for. But they actually got Iron Man. They actually have certain characters. But it's weird though. Like certain characters are kind of like they could not have, but for some reason they couldn't have Stiltman. I don't know why. Stiltman is like joke of a character in Marvel Comics, but for some reason they couldn't have that. And sometimes you kind of answer like, why they wouldn't allow us to have Stiltman? It's just fun. It's just weird though how those companies work and how they have certain things where they're like, oh no, we can't. You can do this with this character. We can't do this with that character. You know what I'm saying? It's just funny though how that works. But for some reason, I don't know who's in charge or what they say. They say nope, and they say you can only do this, you can't do that. So
I don't even think Warner Brothers knows who's in charge half the time.
No, I'm pretty sure they don't either.
Yeah, it's almost a revolving door over there. Another one.
Why does he not? Is that the joke? Is that DJ Khaled?
Yeah, there's DJ Khaled. He's like, oh, you played yourself. Oh god, it's so ridiculously funny. Anyway, moving on.
You know what I think about? It's funny though. You know what I think about? I think of Uncle Junior in The Sopranos. Remember?
Yeah.
It's like it's that. I didn't know you go south of the border there, Uncle Junior. Remember that?
Yeah.
Do I smell tuna? I'm just kidding. Stop.
All right, so I'm gonna give you my Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard review right here. I went and saw the movie. What was that? Last Friday. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie from start to finish. Everybody was great. The comedy still kept coming from the first one. Nothing missed a beat. It was great. I enjoyed every bit of it. Even in fact, the randomness of Morgan Freeman being in the movie, it was still great. And the character he played, still great, still fantastic. Definitely, I would say it's not needed to watch the first one, but it would definitely help to watch the first one before seeing this one. Because in the beginning of this one, Ryan Reynolds goes on a sabbatical, where he's like, I'm no longer bodyguarding. I quit bodyguarding. I'm just going to do my own thing and just have an actual vacation for once. And then Salma Hayek pulls him right back in to save Samuel L. Jackson's character. Then they get tied up into some things. And then you have Antonio Banderas, who's trying to take over the world. And then at one point, there's a scene between Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek, and he brings you back to the old days that they filmed they had together.
Desperado?
Yep, brings you back to those days a little bit.
Awesome.
And then it's just all around just pure comedy fun. A lot of MFs in the movie.
Well, I mean, it's Samuel L. Jackson, so.
No, oh yeah. Right.
Well, you got almost. I kind of like the fact that it's an action movie because you got a lot of senior citizens now, and this movie, besides Ryan Reynolds, of course.
So is this like the sequel to Red?
Yeah,
it felt like that in a way. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
I want to say that because you look at the cast, man. It's all like, except for Ryan Reynolds, man.
You know, I never watched the second Red. Ugh, excuse me.
It wasn't bad.
I didn't watch the first one. Was really good though.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the second one either. So
this one here actually, I don't know if you guys seen the Umbrella Academy.
I have not watched it yet.
No.
I know what you're talking about though.
Because the big guy in that show is in this movie. Frank Grillo is also in this movie.
Frank Grillo, yes, who plays Crossbones.
Yeah, he's also in this movie. I mean, movie was just pure laughter all the way through. Samuel L. Jackson and Salma Hayek are trying to have a baby, so like they want to go on vacation and actually have a honeymoon together, and they're talking about having a baby, and like, but you're so old, and like I know, we try to make it work. It's just funny. It's hilarious.
I really want to see the first one. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Definitely go do that. All right, that is enough of that. Oh yeah, that's released actually today. So go to the theaters, go see it. Next up, so it turns out this movie was so good that it got a sequel.
Oh, very cool.
Greenland 2 is definitely a go. With returning stars of Gerard Butler and his wife right here, Monica, I forgot her name. But she's coming back as well, as long as with the director. If it kind of makes sense because the fact of how the first one ended, it didn't end on a cliffhanger, but it's always one of those movies where you're like, how do they get back to where things were, kind of a thing.
Gotcha.
After a disaster like this happens, how did you get back to normal life? It's always things I kind of wondered after, like Independence Day, or even Day After Tomorrow, or some other.
Cool.
Yeah, because after it ends, and literally they walk out from where they are, and they're like, and it's kind of like, where do you guys go from here, kind of a thing. And now the fact the Greenland 2 is a go, it's pretty cool.
All right.
So, who has seen episode 2?
I have seen episode 2.
I've seen it too.
All right, everyone has seen episode 2. This is going to be a spoiler review of Loki.
All right, are you ready for this?
This episode's fantastic.
You really liked it?
I liked it better than the first one.
Okay, I'll agree. I liked it better than the first one. I thought the pacing was really slow.
I think it needed to be because it was building up to at the end. Which was kind of interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely the end of the episode is very, what's what I'm looking for? Has consequences for the whole everything.
Yes. Yeah. So it just like, well, let's first start off with the fact that like Loki is now trying to be on the good graces of the Time Variance or TVA.
Yeah.
And so between the conversation he has with Miss Minutes, which I thought was actually pretty cool.
That was a cool scene.
That was a cool scene. And then the fact of like them trying to figure out where this Loki is and trying to figure that hunting this Loki down. it was actually pretty cool too, because they're trying to figure out what disasters take place and where it's where. And when they get there, it is like, oh, let's test it. Well, first they're like, oh, let's test this theory out, and it ended up being like some disaster, and you're like, oh yeah, we can do this, we can do that, we can do that.
That was a really cool scene when they were in so they were in Pompeii, and like when Mount Vesuvius erupted, and so basically what like just a quick history on that is so that basically covered the whole city with ashes, and like everyone died in that city.
To destroy the whole city. Yeah, killed everyone in it.
Yeah, so like so that's a pretty cool how they tied in like a real historical event into it. That's like they did that in the first episode too with the DB Cooper. Yes, so yeah. I think it's cool how they're tying in like actual historical events into the timeline with everything like that. But I'll let you keep going, Chris.
Okay, so we get that, and then we get the fact of like, is this Loki trying to be good? Because like beforehand, this Loki is bad. This Loki came from Avengers 1, so he had bad intentions all the way through. He wanted to roll and whatnot. And then in the course of the 2 episodes, he is kind of like, I felt like he's kind of had a change of heart and actually changed into the Thor Ragnarok Loki in a way. Yeah. His behavior changed into the point where he actually wants to help and actually wants to do better. But at the end, once they get to where the variant was, he kind of revealed himself a little bit. Maybe, I don't know if he was telling the truth or he was lying to the variant, saying like, "Oh, this is all a game. I'm going to play them," and for whatever that it is, you feel like that's going to come at some point. But it's kind of cool to see a different Loki in a way.
I think it's kind of cool, like talking about Tom Hiddleston's Loki though. I think it's cool that like you never really know if he's telling the truth or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's always he said to Mobius, who's played by Owen Wilson. He even said like, he goes, you think that's what it is? Like, I'm already like 10 moves ahead of you. Like, so it's like you don't even know. Like, he's like on a different level of thinking. He's like playing everybody.
Yes.
I just want to point out that like Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson's, they're awesome together.
Their on-screen chemistry is really good.
They really feed off each other really well. I love that pairing because I think they're always entertaining. They're always entertaining. They're always funny. Yeah, they're doing great. I kind of agree with you, Ann. It was a little slow, the pacing, I thought. I thought that, it was like that period. Was it necessary? Sure, because, you're trying to discover where this Loki is, the variant or whatever who's causing these problems, trying to find exactly what it is. They're trying to find the whole mystery behind it. Loki solves it. The whole thing is like she's hiding under this cataclysmic events, which takes place. This one takes place in 2050 in the future in Oklahoma.
I thought we would have had nicer TVs, by the way, in 2050.
Yeah, you think so, right? But yeah. So it was, the reveal is cool. Like I kind of said something. It was going to be a female Loki. But so this is the only thing about it. Now, she didn't introduce herself as Lady Loki. I know that's the whole thing about it, right? Mm-hmm. But the fact that she has blonde hair makes me think that she might also be the Enchantress, which is another Asgardian and Thor villain. Now, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure maybe it is Lady Loki. I just think it's funny that she has blonde hair. I would figure she would have had black hair just like him. Or a little somewhat similar look to, Tom Hiddleston's Loki. So that's my only thing about it. I'm not sure if it could be either Lady Loki or the Enchantress. So we'll see. So what happens.
Since you are the comic book nerd between all three of us, who are between the two characters, Lady Enchantress and or Lady Loki and Enchantress? What's the difference between them two?
I mean, Lady Loki is just like Loki. Just pretty much has the same power, same whatever. It's just she's just a female version of Loki. It just
comes from a different universe. Does it come from the same?
I think so. I think the thing is though, because Loki's a shapeshifter and all that, decides that I don't think she was a different Loki from a different it might have been a 616 Loki, but because he's a shapeshifter, he just changed into a female version of himself.
They did say in an interview that Loki is gender fluid.
It's gender fluid, yes.
Yeah.
So he can't do that, and actually, that is even in Norse mythology, I guess, because he's a trickster god, so he can change into any form he wants. That's how Loki is. But Enchantress, she's also a magician in Asgard. She does have magical powers. She was a love interest to Thor, but also, I guess Thor rejected her and became a villain. And she has similar like kind of powers too. She can possess people and other. I'm not sure what other magical powers she has, but I want to say it's not similar to Loki, but somewhat similar to Loki. But she is a pretty powerful like villain as well. So that's what I'm saying though. It's possible it could be the Enchantress. It possibly could be Lady Loki. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of funny because, like I said though, when she does have the horns like Loki, so maybe that is just female Lady Loki, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
So
do you think maybe
I would say it is Lady Loki because I feel they'll save the Enchantress maybe for a Thor movie.
Maybe. Do you think maybe I saw a theory last week that Loki's still alive in our timeline?
No, I don't. I think.
Hear me out.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Hear me out.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Loki, what we've seen of Loki before the show, is right-handed.
Okay.
Right. Is right-handed. He's always does things with his right hand. He always stabs people with his right hand. But whenever he's lying or shape-shifting, he's uses his left hand.
Okay.
In Infinity War, when he dies, he raises his left arm to Thanos with a knife.
Yeah.
So was he playing a trick then?
It's possible because we've seen this before in Thor: The Dark World, where like you think Loki died, but he actually wasn't dead. He faked his death. You've seen it before. He is a trickster god. He could have fooled maybe Thanos and everybody to pretend that he was trying, and then ends up like thinking that Thanos killed him, but in fact he's still alive. He could have done that. I mean, very possible. I just feel Kevin Feige did say though, deaths do matter in the MCU. He doesn't want to, sell them short. And I feel he'll go back to his word if he said like otherwise. Oh, like no, like Quicksilver is really dead. Like so we really killed Quicksilver. We really killed Agent Coulson, even though I brought him back in Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. But there is no connection to the MCU. Right. So I do think if Kevin Feige does say what he says, that I do think the 616, the MCU Loki, or the one right in that universe is dead because of that. Okay. So, but like I said, though, it could be very possible. I just feel though it'll cheapen the death though. That's the only problem with that. Like then, if let's say you do,
a lot of deaths got cheating last week with the first episode of Loki.
Yeah,
I mean, let's be real.
It got cheapened, but I think that's why like when you do the whole multiverse, you can bring back anybody, and it'll be like, well, that's not the real one. That's a different timeline one, or that's another timeline one. So that's the only thing why it's kind of a loophole. He can get away with that. He can be like, no, we kill characters, but that's not that version. It's another version. What I'm saying? It's a different version. That's why, like I say, like Gamora in that timeline is dead, but you had the other Gamora from a different timeline. Right. You had Black Widow is dead, but you have a different Black Widow from a different timeline. So I feel like they can get away with that. And I think that's the only reason. That's why I think Kevin Feige is introducing multiverse to be like, hey, listen, I know we kill certain characters, but there's a chance it can come back. It won't be the same character. It'll be a different version, but it can come back. So that's my only theory to that. And I think that's why they're doing all this multiverse stuff, just to kind of do that, to be like, hey, listen, we kill characters. Don't worry, we won't do no resurrection shit. But there's a possibility this character can come back or that character can come back from a different timeline. So,
all right.
But like, yes, I think I want to say my best thing is Lady Loki, but it's very possible it could be Enchantress. That's my theory right now. All right. But I do think it's cool though, because I agree with Ant the way they did it now, it looks like they broke so many different timelines that from now on, it could be just like a Doctor Who episode where Loki's out there trying to fix every timeline.
Yeah.
So he has to literally go everywhere to fix every freaking timeline that she broke.
I don't know if there's a way to get a screen capture, but they had dates up of when every event happened and it broke. So you could kind of like if you're watching the episode, it's really fast picture of all the different dates where it was broken.
Huh? I did not know that. I did not notice that.
So that literally is the premise of your whole show. If you want to do it that way,
but then you have 4 more episodes.
Yeah, but it can lead into like another season of that. So it can lead into another like whatever, and have him going to different timelines and trying to fix each one. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, because this probably is not the only season that this is.
Yeah, exactly. You can tell a lot of story from this, and I think it'll be cool though, because it wouldn't be an easy fix. It could be like literally you have to go to this time, try to fix this, or exactly this time and this whatever. It could
so I guess there's 13 new broken timelines.
Mm.
So that would mean that there's definitely a second season coming.
Yeah.
I would say at least. Yeah, but that's all they said. When's this article from? This is from 5 days ago, so this was even prior to what happened today.
Yeah, it would be cool though to do it that way, like a Doctor Who or even a Quantum Leap, where like they had to fix certain timelines.
Oh, so here we go. This is actually
happening.
This actually breaks it down. So 1492 in Portugal. So that would have to do with Columbus going to America.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
2301 Vormir. That's where the Soul Stone is hidden. So there's a break there. 2004 Asgard.
Was that Dark World?
No. That was Thor 1.
Yeah, Thor 1. That's Thor 1. It's actually before we met Thor 1.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So they
probably
said this
when
could
we
be
first met Loki.
Yeah, so it says
When we
this
first
could be a
saw Loki.
reference to the young Thor comic Thor Son of Asgard, which came out in 2004. 1390 Rome. There was some serious papal drama. So the Pope Boniface IX saw to it that Ladislas was crowned King of Naples at Gaeta on. So that was from that year. Let's see, 1984 Sakaar. So that's from Thor Ragnarok. 1808 Barichara. So the Cabrera municipality was set up during this date. This fits into the Kang theory that Lady Loki might be hunting down the time-traveling troublemaker. Interesting. 1208 Porvo in 1551 Thornton, United States. These two intriguing inclusions, while neither has immediate and obvious connections to the MCU, they are both colonized lands which are dated pre-colonization. And then 1382 Ego. That's interesting. Is he going to be in the show?
Kurt Russell?
Yeah. And then 1982 Titan, which is
Thanos?
The moon orbiting Saturn.
Yeah, Thanos World.
Yeah, 1947 New York.
I mean, I think we're going to see Thanos again at some point.
Yeah,
1984 Japan.
He is a bad Eternal.
Could 1984 Japan be our introduction to Wolverine?
Possibly.
I don't want to get my hopes up for that.
Year 51 Hala, which is the home planet of the Kree. 1991 Xander, 2005 Beijing, and 1999 Cooksville, USA, and Kingsport, USA. So there's a lot of there's your broken timelines.
It'll be very interesting though, because like I said though, it'll be very cool to see him going to different timelines, like from
I
past.
think it's cool just seeing. I didn't even, when I first was thinking about this, I'm just thinking all this stuff's going to be taking place on Earth. Like I didn't even really think about. Okay, well, wait a minute, he's going to all these different planets all over the galaxy. Like that's cool.
But then, how humans can like even breathe there? They haven't really done that. They haven't gone like to different parts in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Who?
Can you imagine though, man?
Like Mobius.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mobius is human.
So well, is he though? Are the time the timekeeper, or not the timekeepers, but the TVA are they human or are they androids?
We haven't gotten an explanation of what exactly they are.
I think they might be androids.
Possibly.
Okay, probably they would do like, how are you breathing? How are you breathing? Oh, well, I'm just him.
Yeah, I'm just I don't know. I don't know what they are. That's a good.
Though. What did the judge pick up when she did she pick up a rod or did she pick up some weapon?
Her baton,
right? Oh, one of her baton. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I saw when everything was happening, she picked up something and then
she's ready to beat some ass.
Yeah, her baton, her own baton.
Her own baton. Well, yeah, it's actually if they go by exactly the timelines, it should be really interesting with every single timeline and how they affect things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll see that because we don't know. It's crazy how Marvel does this and Disney does this. Like they don't even show you like what's to come in the next episode.
No,
they don't.
And like I believe the trailers that we've been shown have been the first 2 episodes.
I know there's one thing in the trailer that we've seen that we haven't seen yet. There's like one where he has like a pin, looks like he's running for like mayor or something. It says like Loki on it, and I know we haven't seen that part yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're right though. Literally everything else I think was in the trailer was in the first 2 episodes.
I just love I always love time traveling or things like that because it's especially when it comes to real history because imagine the ramifications if something doesn't happen and what it will do. I think what was it? What's that show from DC? The Arrowverse show. What was it called? The one that had
DC Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow.
That is it.
I didn't watch. I watched some of it. I didn't watch all of it, but I heard there's one cool episode where I guess supposedly George Lucas. They actually based on George Lucas. I guess they
I know the episode you're talking about. It's awesome.
There's a scourge to do Star Wars and all. They had to go back and convince him to do Star Wars because if he doesn't do Star Wars, like I think a couple of scientists, a couple of people on the show wouldn't become scientists because of George Lucas.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like huge because it shows what the ramifications are for him not to create Star Wars, what it would have done to a lot of people. And I think that's such a cool concept because he's right though. I think George Lucas and Star Wars really totally, I would say, encourage or not encourage. I would say, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, I think encourage. I think encourage is the right word. Okay. Encourage people to choose a different field.
Yeah. To go.
Just like when I watch A Few Good Men, that inspires me to be a lawyer because you can't handle the truth.
But I mean, I just think it was funny though how certain things like that have really inspired. That's what I was gonna say. Inspired people to become what they are. Inspired people to become scientists or astronauts or things like that. And I think it's funny though. That's why it's so funny. The movie, that's a storyline because it's but it's true though. Not having Star Wars, what it would have done to a lot of people. Would honestly they have so many sci-fi fans if it wasn't for Star Wars or even Star Trek, Yeah. So I think that's why hopefully I love to see Loki tackle all these things because it'll be cool to see him actually trying to fix certain timelines and understanding. If he doesn't fix these times, the ramifications we'll have in the future, what would it do to the whole future? So yeah, it should be really cool.
Can't wait for it. Can't wait. All right, so we all like this week's episode of Loki.
Yeah.
Good. All right, moving on to our second trailer reacts.
Ooh.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
Well, you see, kids never come by unless they need something.
Dad, I need your help.
30 years.
I'll get my coat.
We are fighting a war.
30 years in the future. We are fighting a war. Our enemy is not human, and we are losing. We need you to fight.
I will be back.
I love you, Chippy.
7 days from now, when you're sent into that war, you won't be fighting for your country. You'll be fighting for the world.
Is it all right?
Yeah, going to war. Stop talking. Listen. Sorry, when I'm nervous, I talk. I'm like a 97 on the nervous scale.
That should be fun.
Welcome to the future. You and your unit are now in 2051.
They're everywhere.
We are food, and they are hungry. Our enemy is smarter, faster, and stronger than you can possibly imagine. Do you want to see something really dangerous?
I feel like literally that's all I've been doing since I got here, but okay.
Within the next few weeks, the human species will disappear from the face of the earth.
Nothing we do here matters. No, that's where you're wrong. I don't believe that one bit.
Together, we can stop this war from ever happening.
This is my opportunity to give this world a second chance. Second chances are really hard to come by.
Light him up!
I'm not gonna hide.
It's not even loaded. It's a pressurized cabin. Why would I
I'm gonna fight.
It's not even loaded.
Yeah, it's not loaded. It's a pressurized cabin. Why would I load it in the cabin? The bullet goes in thing and everybody's sucked out.
All right, that is the Tomorrow War, starring Chris Pratt, and that looks like to me a Edge of Tomorrow Amazon kind of movie.
That's what I think. That's kind of my first. I was thinking of Edge of Tomorrow, which I really enjoyed.
I don't have like the stats or anything like that, but is Chris Pratt like the new summer blockbuster guy from like Will Smith?
Yeah.
Like that's what I like. That seems like a 90s summer movie. Like
yeah.
Like totally. Yeah, that Will Smith would have been in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Like yeah, so and it seems like Chris Pratt is like getting more and more of those roles, because I would even say like Jurassic Park is like a summer blockbuster movie.
Yeah.
I don't think Jurassic Park's like the original Jurassic Park anymore. I think it's more summer blockbuster-y in that way.
Yes.
But I'm trying to think of like what other.
I mean, it. Oh, hold on. Pause. Jurassic Park came out in the summer. It literally came out last week, 20 plus years ago.
That's fine, but I don't think the original one has like the okay, so don't get me wrong.
Dinosaurs on the screen.
I guess Spielberg has always had a blockbuster kind of directing style, but I guess this looks more like a popcorn flick than like Jurassic Park. I don't know, like Jurassic Park's just like it's different because it has like it's such well directed and so well acted. I guess like that's like, and it's such a good story.
I feel like Jurassic Park was pretty much like Jaws meets like dinosaurs.
Jaws on land.
Jaws was a summer blockbuster too when it came out, so I guess like I don't know.
More a horror movie, like they're more horror movies than anything.
I'm trying to like I guess like when I'm talking about like summer blockbusters, I guess I'm just talking about big action movies. I guess that's more of what I'm saying.
Okay. But that's what I'm saying though. Like I feel like Jaws, and yes, Jaws started the summer blockbusters. Jurassic Park was a summer blockbuster movie, but I think it's different in a sense. They're more like direct like a horror movie. Whereas or thriller or whatever, whereas I feel like the new Jurassic Park, even though it has certain elements like that, I feel it's more horror action kind of. It's more of like an action movie in a sense, like big, big, huge,
It's not Transformers wise.
Not
of a movie, like kind of like this movie was like a Transformers kind of a movie.
I agree with that. Yeah,
exactly.
Where like you have a movie like Jurassic Park is more on the level of like A Quiet Place, for that matter, in a way.
Yes, even though I think Quiet Place definitely goes more horror.
Yes, it does, but like in the same aspect of it, like seeing the second one, seeing that there's more people in the movie and whatnot in just this little enclosed circle, it became more of a Jurassic Park feel to it.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I think when Jurassic Park like literally made the raptors be like docile, like whatever, and listen to, I think then it just straight up summer blockbuster, because I feel like the fact that the raptors are really trained now to be like his, whatever. I'm just like, okay, it's just like it's a popcorn flick. That's kind of what it is. I feel like now, which is okay. It's what that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people want to go.
This
they want to be entertained.
Good grab for Amazon. This looks good.
Yeah, they paid $200 million for it, something like that.
Yeah, it gives me kind of like not the first Terminator, but like some of the newer Terminators, like how it's like actiony, or even the Edge of Tomorrow, kind of like that kind of feel. I don't know. I think it looks good.
I think it's so funny though. Like going back to Edge of Tomorrow, though, I think that's one movie that's not appreciated at all, because I feel like it is an action movie, but it's like action mixed with comedy, mixed with like it's such a good movie that I feel doesn't get enough love it should.
Yeah, I definitely didn't watch it till later on. So
no, because Groundhog Day, action comedy, like it has so many great elements of that movie that I wish it got more love, because I honestly, it's one of the more original action movies or sci-fi action movies out there, to be honest. Yeah. And I wish like people would watch it more, because like I think going into it, you expect just a popcorn flick, but you get a lot more from that. So this one though, like it does feel like I said, I think it looks good. Does feel like a popcorn flick. Maybe it's more to it than just that. But yeah, it looks good. I like the fact it's an original. It seems like an original movie too.
Yeah.
So
it's not
based on anything. So yeah. I like that. So
we'll see what happens with that. And our last story of the day, Anthony and I talked about this before we went live. The Xbox Series exclusives are going to be able to stream on the Xbox One systems.
Yes, which means not only is it cross-generation forward, it's cross-generation backwards, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you think they will keep that up because of the fact of the limited amounts of the series consoles?
I think for at least for Game Pass games. I don't think like I'm trying to think
Grand
of like
Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption.
Like I don't think you're going to be able to stream Battlefield 2142 or 2040. Yeah, 2042, the 128 player game on your old Xbox. I think that's going to be native. Unless they somehow put it on the cloud. But I think like first party stuff, like because I know like they specifically mentioned like Flight Simulator and Forza. Were like the two ones that they well, not even Forza, it was Flight Simulator and something else, because Flight Simulator is exclusive to the Series X and Forza's not. I forget what the other game was. They mentioned two that was for sure. Maybe it's Stalker, maybe that was the other one.
Maybe
yeah, but they had mentioned two games in particular as examples that you will be able to play through cloud gaming, and actually that'll be available on all consoles. So I know Pete has an S, so he's a little bit limited on space. So that could help you if a game isn't really, if you're not playing an online game and playing a single player game where you're not really worried about the fidelity and the quality of it, you could not have to download the game. You could just stream it.
Yeah.
So like that's a question I was going to actually ask you, because I was trying to download FIFA and Madden on my, because I have a 5.
Those are some big hefty downloads.
Yes, they are.
It's at least 50 gigs, I think, each. So anyway, I was trying to download those games, but so I only have like very limited space on my Series S. but I have a 5 terabyte external hard drive. But it told me that I cannot download an external hard. If I wanted to play or play fast, I had to download it on the memory I have in my Series X.
So in order to play the optimized version of a game, you have to download it onto the internal hard drive. You can still play the game; it just won't be the optimized version. It'll be the Xbox One version.
Yes, and that's what I did. So like, so yeah, I downloaded that version on my because I still have memory, but it's not too much. But I downloaded through that.
Yeah, that's honestly gonna be the biggest bottleneck of this generation is the lack of memory, and that's really even me and Chris have a terabyte in our systems that we're playing with, and I can tell you that even that's not enough.
Nope.
I'm constantly having to delete and remove games.
Yeah, and that's a problem, I think, and I consider, because I feel like
how is that working out for Nintendo with their 32 gig?
Yeah, but it's like I could still go and get my chips or whatever. I could get my little things and
what
still
game? Name me one game that doesn't require a day one update.
Oh, I don't know.
But it's like Smash is getting updates even now. I even picked that thing up. Was like, oh, this thing requires an update.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, dude. Like the updates aren't as big as the full games, but it's not like it's not like that helps. Like I've already purchased. I'm on my second SD card for the Switch, but I will never fill that up because I don't buy games as often as I used to. But on there, yeah, it's like even my I had a 128, now I have a 400 gig, and so the 400 gig is I'm about 50% filled on that. But it's like games take up a lot of space, and there's like right now the bottleneck of gaming to me is we have systems that can do incredible things. We don't have the memory to store the games for them.
No, we don't. Like I have my 8 terabyte external hard drive hooked up to my PlayStation 5 right now because I know at some point I might have to transfer games over. I still have my PS4 games on there, but I have some PS5 games on there as well because I have to transfer that over to play it and transfer it back when I'm done with it, and vice versa. And that's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't wait till the memory catches up with the games.
It will. It will. Some point. All right. So how are you guys on Bad Batch? I mean, we can kind of say the fact is pretty much a Clone Wars.
Oh, it's totally Clone Wars. Let me see. What was the big reveal this week? Oh, Commander Rex is back.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't watch that episode then.
Oh, sorry, Pete. Sorry, Pete. It just ruined it for you.
It's all good. I thought I watched it, but I guess I was one of the previous one, the one where they're trying to find the battle, the tactic droid head.
Yeah.
That was like the previous week, right?
Yeah, that's previous week.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't watch this one. Was it a good episode though?
Yeah, I mean it's as good as the last episodes. The lighting was amazing.
Yes,
actually, in a lot of the sequences when they were like in the dark tunnels,
yeah.
The lighting was like fantastic, like some of the best cartoon lighting I've ever seen.
But it was a good episode.
Yeah.
Nothing too fantastic about it.
I feel low. It's kind of like Clone Wars, so each episode is just more like they go one mission, they go another mission.
Mission of the week.
Yeah.
There's really no overarching story right now besides you're seeing the beginning of the Empire, and because really they're just working for that lady in the shop as mercenaries, but we don't really have something. I think there's something with Omega that we're not being told. Like I think that's the overarching story.
Somebody was saying to me from work that she might be force sensitive.
It could be
force sensitive clone.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
could be.
But who is she? But where is she in the like? Who is she, or where is she like in the future? Like what happens to her?
Who knows?
Yeah, so that'd be interesting to see where. I'm definitely interested to see where that story goes.
Did they reveal who the cloaked figure was? The one that they were talking to? Those two? Did they reveal like that?
Yeah.
Oh, they
Yes,
did.
I just spoiled it for you.
Oh, it's Commander Rex.
Yeah.
That was the person that they were saying like, oh, you want to find.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So it wasn't a bad guy. It was actually a good guy.
Okay.
Which is cool though, because I guess like normally the reveal would be a bad guy.
Yes.
But they did help Ahsoka, so like those were good guy characters. So it would have been weird to see them talking to a bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay. That's funny though, because the way they put it, it almost seemed like it was a villain. Like,
Yeah. I think they wanted it to be that way, so you kind of be like, oh, you know.
Like, oh yeah, it's like, oh, who is it? Darth Vader, Darth Sidious. So, all right, that's cool.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Enjoyed it very much. All right, so let's move on from that to Mission Impossible franchise in review with Mission Impossible 3 came out in 2006. Starring Tom Cruise, Ving Rhames, Lawrence Fishburne, which is the Fishburne I miss. I have not seen that man act that way in anything in a long time. I miss him acting that way.
Simon Pegg.
Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, Simon Pegg. First one with Simon Pegg as well.
Is that Michelle Moynihan or Bridget Moynihan?
Michelle.
Yeah.
Michelle Moynihan. Maggie Q.
Aaron Paul.
Maggie Q. Yes.
Yep. Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul.
That was great.
Yep. And the guy from the Tudors. Forgot his name.
No clue.
Is that the other guy, the young?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good cast,
really
though.
good ensemble cast.
So far, the biggest they got together for Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
It's actually the biggest they got so far for the whole series.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, because I don't think they had any other big actors or big. No.
No. Throughout the rest of them, no.
No. Like, I want to say Philip Seymour Hoffman was the best villain of the whole series. But I do like what's the name? I do like the other one, from. Actually, I don't know, man, because the last two had pretty good villains.
I mean, yeah, the last two did have good villains.
The last two had pretty good villains, but I think okay. So, okay, let's rank it. Like, what do you think of this movie? Do you think it's the best out of the three right now?
Out of the three right now, 100% yes.
Yeah,
I don't even think it's a question.
That's not even a question. Yes, it's the best out of the three right now.
Best out of the three right now, even though J.J. Abrams goes into franchises midway through and doesn't have a plan. This is a good.
But
wow.
He even admitted it himself. He doesn't come in with a plan.
But he definitely set up the foundation for the rest of the Mission Impossible movies. Yes. I feel this is the foundation for every other Mission Impossible movie.
He definitely set the bar.
He set the bar, and I think they continue with setting the bar.
Because he's producing it every single one after this one as well.
Yeah,
even though he's not directing it.
I definitely think this is the start of all the Mission Impossible movies come out, and that should definitely set up like a great. Because I think every one of them has been great so far.
Yeah, this has been the Fast Five of the Mission Impossible series.
Probably one of the best intros out of any of the Mission Impossible movies.
No, Fallout still beats this one.
Okay, not to spoil it. What was Fallout? I forgot.
Well, that's going to spoil it.
Yeah, that's going to spoil it.
Because I've never seen it.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know what you're talking about. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna say anything. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That was like, oh,
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay, yeah. That was pretty cool. I don't know. I love the whole like, where's the rabbit foot? You got 10 seconds, and I love that whole thing.
It was an intense scene. It was a great scene.
It's such an intense scene, but it's just for like, okay, it's in Paris. No, it's not, and he just keeps on going. And he shoots her. And he's like, "You think I'm playing? You think I'm going to?" And I love that scene. That was such a great, well-acted scene and all that. And really, kind of, it made Philip Seymour Hoffman like a great villain. I thought it really set him up to be a great villain in this, and definitely the action scenes were great in this as well. The bridge scene was awesome.
Yes,
that was awesome.
I think that was the start of like everyone like seeing the fact of what Tom Cruise can do with his own stunts, because him hitting like the explosion and him knocking back and hitting the car, that was actually real. And then because JJ was like, "Hey, we're gonna do this scene," and then he's like, "Oh," Tom was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it." He's like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah, I got this." And then he did it, and they're like, "Oh shit, is he okay?"
What I like about it though, it showed like I think this one. I thought the second one he looked too like invincible, like he looked too much of a badass. This one, he's still badass, but it shows some vulnerability. Like he's very vulnerable because of his, his girl, because of just that whole scene itself. Like he was trying, like he was gonna attack, but he's freaking F-16 or what are drones, I should say, drones and all that. And Philip Seymour Hoffman escapes, and he just the whole scenario was so intense.
Yeah.
I think that it's definitely more personal too, very more personal than the last movie because of he had Carrie Russell. Oh, Carrie Russell's in this movie too. We totally forgot about her.
Yeah,
and that's his trainee and what happened to her. Yeah, what happened to her. So it became way more personal, this movie. So I thought that's why I think this movie was really good. It's funny though, the way they ended it, you thought that was the end of the franchise, but it's actually the beginning of all these other movies that came right after that.
Yeah.
The way they ended it. So I feel like, I think, like usually the third movie is never the best. Third movie, usually there's decline in the movie. This was actually the best out of the three, which says something. And it actually is such a good one. Like I said, it was really the foundation to everything out of Mission Impossible come right after that. So I think it's an excellent movie. I think it's very unappreciated. Unfortunately,
I think it's very appreciated.
I'm sorry?
It came out, it was very appreciated.
I just felt like it didn't do great in the box office like it should have. I think it was kind of weak in the box office, I want to say.
398 million worldwide.
98? But I mean
398.
398 worldwide?
Yes.
Yeah.
But not every other one's $1 billion, right? Almost close to $1 billion, right?
No. I think the Fallout was the only one that came close.
Close, though. Like, okay. But I like I said, though, I still think this is a pretty awesome movie. Definitely a great movie and all that stuff. And I really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed this movie as well. It was $150 million to make budget-wise, and they made $398 million. I'm looking at even Fallout got to $791 million worldwide. Like none of them has made $1 billion.
What was the movie afterwards? What did it do?
Fallout is last. 4?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see, because I think that one got smaller.
That's Rogue Nation, right?
That's Ghost Protocol.
Oh, no, Ghost Protocol's 4, and then Rogue Nation, then Fallout, right?
Yeah. 4 made $694 million worldwide, with $145.
Though, man, that's like twice as much.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
In a $145 million budget, so almost the same budget, just made a lot more money.
How about
but you got to remember, since even though this was really good, it came after 2. So the last taste in people's mouth was 2. Yeah. Then going into 4, your last taste in your mouth is this. You're gonna go watch 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, you also gotta, like I said, I remember there's a lot of controversy too with Tom Cruise and the whole Oprah Winfrey interview with Katie Holmes.
I guarantee if you go and look at how Fast 5 did, because we hail that as probably the best in the Fast and the Furious franchise.
100%.
That's not the one that did the most money though.
No, it was
the ones that followed that.
Yeah, it was Furious 7. It was Furious 7 mostly because of the fact of Paul Walker dying.
Yeah,
but it only mean outside of that though. I mean, Fate of the Furious still had made a lot of money.
Okay, so by comparison, Mission Impossible 3 is to the Mission Impossible franchise as Fast 5 is
100%. Yeah, 100%.
because it was a foundation for both they all took off after that.
Yeah, that was a good comparison, Chris.
Yeah.
So
because it really is. I mean, when you think about it, Fast 5 really set up all the other sequels to the Fast and Furious movies. So does Mission Impossible 3, because it's actually, besides Ving Rhames, it's the only one where you actually see these other characters like appear in the sequels, like Simon Pegg, and I'm not gonna say who else because that's a surprise. But yeah, Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames appear in the other ones as well. So, and
they have their own like Falcon and Winter Soldier vibe going on themselves.
Yes, exactly.
throughout the rest of the series.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say who else appears in the later ones because, like I said, I will be a spoiler because that was a surprise actually. Who appears in the later Mission Impossible movies, but yeah, it's and actually in this one you see more. And the thing about these ones, the next Mission Impossible, you see more of a continuation of the storyline. You actually see some. Like, it's not just one-offs. You have to see a little continuation.
Like from here, you see an actual story forming and actually come together.
It gets really cool, actually.
Yeah.
It actually really gets cool, dude. It's that's why I'm actually looking forward to the next one because I actually want to see where they're going with the storyline. But yeah,
it was awesome. It's great. Ghost Protocol, we'll review next week. And we're just moving right through these. That would be 4.
You haven't watched that one, have you yet?
I watched Ghost Protocol. I've never seen the other two.
So you didn't see Rogue Nation and you've seen Fallout. Okay.
All right. So outside of what we've been watching, what have we been playing?
So I beat Psychonauts from 2005. I played it on the series system. It's one of the Xbox originals on there. It is upscaled to 4K, so it looks pretty damn good for a game that came out in 2005. It's still in 4:3 though. It's not in widescreen. That's the only like downfall to it is you have the black bars on the side.
It's the Snyder cut.
Yeah, exactly. But it's really good game. It's a good platformer. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed I missed out on it the first go around. That would have been a game I would have loved back then. But in 2005 there was a shit ton of games coming out. Let me tell you. I went and looked because I was like, how did I miss that game? And then I looked and seen what was coming out around it, and I was like, oh, I see how I missed that game. Yeah, there was a ton of good games that came out that year. But it's really good. It's a platforming game. You play as a character named Rasputin. He goes by Raz. And you're a kid at camp, and you're basically learning to be a psychonaut. What a psychonaut is you go into people's minds, and then once you're in their minds, you can kind of like clear them up. So you basically lead the whole way to go to the asylum, and then you wind up in the sane asylum, and that's how you kind of play around these different levels. So you're in like all these crazy people's heads. So but each level like has its own play style. So it's really cool. So like you're in one of them. Like there's like two crazy guys that think they're descendants of Napoleon Bonaparte, and then like you're playing like almost like a Risk kind of game, but it's a platformer. But it has that. Then there's another level where there's like a matador, and so you have to do some like lucha libre fights. But yeah, you just have like a whole bunch of different like gameplay styles and
lucha libre fights.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, dude. You fighting a bunch of masked wrestlers. It's hilarious, but yeah, dude. I'm telling you, there's a lot of different stuff in it. It's really cool how they tie it all together. My one complaint is I feel like there's some powers you get in the game that you'll use it like once in the level you get it, and then you never really use it again. So they don't make it so you're using your powers like throughout the game, which is funny because I actually was watching a developer interview with Tim Schafer, and that's the one thing he said about Psychonauts 2. He goes one of the things when I go back and play Psychonauts 1, and he said the same exact thing as me, and I didn't watch this before, and I was like, that's awesome that's what they're fixing, because I was like, that's exactly the way I felt, because I got this fire ability and you never use it. Like you use it one time to like burn stuff, and that's it, and then you never use it again. And I'm just like, I'm like, what's the point of having it? Like, why not add puzzles in along the way where you need it? But yeah, other than that, it's a really good platformer. It's really quirky. It has the Double Fine kind of humor. Like if you don't know their games, they did Grim Fandango. They did Costume Quest. They also did back in the day. They did the Maniac Mansion games when he still worked at LucasArts. Tim Schafer. So.
Okay.
It has all that kind of that quirky humor. So, but it's really good, and I beat that. So, rolled credits on that one. I've been playing Knockout City. I've been playing Rocket League. Is there anything else I've been playing? That I believe is it. Yeah, I don't think I've been playing anything else besides those.
All right, Pete. What about you?
Okay, so I've been playing a lot of Rocket League, which is not a new game, but that's what I've been playing. Let's see what else I've been playing. Besides that, actually, I know you guys are gonna probably like Oz roll, but you know what I've been playing? I just started playing the other day. I never played this game before, and I figure I play Banjo-Tooie.
No, that's not. I wouldn't roll my eyes at that. That's a good game to play.
I'm just saying because it's an older game. You know what I'm saying? It's like an older, like it's at least 20 years old or something like that. But I thought it was fun though because it's like I always wanted to play that game. I never got the chance to play it. And I gotta admit though, for a kids game, it has a pretty funny humor. Like the humor is pretty funny. It's pretty almost adult like actually in some ways.
Right.
One of the characters, like I think the mold character from the first game, he ends up actually dying, and it's just funny. So he's a ghost and all that stuff, and he's like saying, "Oh my god, get the insects out of my corpse! Like get those insects off my corpse!"
Rare has actually pretty similar humor, I think, to Psychonauts, like in the team at Double Fine.
I would say so.
It's like a really quirky humor.
Yeah.
I think you meet up his you go to his house and you meet up his wife who looks just like him, and then you're like, oh, wonder where he's at. He's supposed to come home by now, and they're like the Kazoo is like, oh no, he's gonna be back soon. Don't worry. And it's funny though, and his kid's like, oh. My dad, he's supposed to play the soccer games with me. You probably will need to look for a replacement for that, buddy. It's like why? He's a good soccer player. Like I just love like the humor and like a really dark humor. But it's a fun game, dude. It's a pretty fun. The gameplay is pretty cool. I like the fact they don't take themselves seriously the game at all.
Yeah.
It's from what I played, it's pretty fun. So, but that's about it. I haven't played anything else. I'm downloading actually right now like FIFA and Madden, so that's something I'll be playing later on. So
there you go.
There you go. So I have been playing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which is freaking phenomenal and
nice.
It's exactly like playing a Pixar movie, which looks freaking amazing. I've also been playing a game that me and Anthony have played, Fallen Order.
Ooh, how is the new patch?
Next gen upgrade. Freaking phenomenal looking.
Is it the way the game should have been the first time around?
I've not ran into a hiccup at all.
That game really pushed the old systems because when I played it, man, like there was slowdown, there was choppiness, it was not good.
I have not encountered any of that. I'm at
awesome.
the General Grievous part, or not the Grievous, but the Guerrera part right now.
Oh, I love that part, Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, Saw Gerrera.
Oh, the one where you're on the AT-AT?
Yeah.
I passed that, and I'm actually near the end of that part. Yeah, near the end of that part. It looks phenomenal. It still looks good.
I gotta pop it on.
Is it all cleaned up, man? It is? Okay.
Yeah.
Like like I said, I remember that part when I was playing it on my PS4. There was like a little glitch or whatever. Or a little like slow down, I guess.
There's a lot of slow down.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot. There was a lot.
Yeah. So it kind of felt like it was a game that should definitely probably play in a new one because like, yeah.
It's definitely fixed.
Okay.
I have, like I said, I've not run into any issues whatsoever.
Honestly, that's my only complaint about the game. Honestly, everything else is amazing in the game. It's a really an awesome game, except for just that. That if you're looking at it, like that's the only thing I could say that's negative about that game. But everything else is pretty awesome.
And it's fixed, so we're good.
So we're good indeed. All right. So outside of normal things as I've been playing, What else? What have been watching? To be honest with you, I've not watched anything besides E3 and the things that we were supposed to be watching. Oh, never mind. Take it back. I watched In the Heights.
How was that?
How was that?
It was good.
Worth watching.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you like musicals, I'm guessing, right? Because if you don't like musicals,
if you enjoyed Hamilton, you will like this one.
Okay. I did enjoy Hamilton, so
and I think I like this one more than Hamilton because of the fact of the sets, and the ensemble and everything coming together and whatnot. I enjoyed it more than I did Hamilton.
So is this on stage or is this a movie?
Movie.
Okay. So
New York,
more like the Greatest Showman then, or Les Mis or whatever. Les
Mis.
Yeah, Les Mis.
More like Les Mis mixed with Greatest Showman.
Okay.
In a way, because it's more. Les Mis didn't have that much of what I felt like an upbeat music to it, but Greatest Showman did. So if you mix both of those things together, that's what I think In the Heights is.
I'm not a huge musical fan, but I really enjoyed The Greatest Showman. I thought that was a really good movie.
Yeah, it was a really good movie.
Did you ever watch that, Pete?
No, I have not.
You should probably watch it. No, you should probably watch Greatest Showman, Pete. That's a really good movie, and the songs in it are really good.
I'll check it out. Yeah, I did see Les Mis. It's not gonna. The thing is, I haven't watched musicals before. There are pretty good musicals out there.
I know you're a huge fan of Chicago.
I never watched Chicago, to be honest. Never seen it.
Liar.
No, I swear to God, never seen Chicago. I remember we used to hate that movie.
Swear to me.
I remember we used to hate that movie when it came out in the theaters, though. Remember it?
Yeah, I believe didn't I hate it because it won a Academy Award or something?
Two Towers.
Yeah,
it was Two Towers, and then that year, Lord Rings Two Towers, and it won. Chicago won an Oscar over that.
I remember when we were in the theater, won all 3 years in a row, in my opinion.
Dude, you know what's so funny though? I remember the old people used to come out there all like singing and dancing and all like, oh yeah, Chicago. You remember all these old people used to come out of the theater all like singing and dancing and all that, like loving it. It's so funny, dude. Oh my goodness. I remember that. Yeah, I mean they loved it. I mean it used to be always packed, that damn movie. All the time, dude, Chicago. But no, I never watched it. I'm not really
never saw it myself.
No, I never decided to. I mean, I don't know. Doesn't I mean didn't want to watch Richard Gere sing a song to you?
Oh, I love Richard Gere. Nothing better than that.
Oh my goodness.
Have you guys been watching anything else?
I watched this week's episode of Big Shot on Disney. It was good. Lots of drama, but good.
What? Which one?
Big Shot.
Big Shots.
It's with John Stamos. Come on, Pete. I'm supporting your Greek brother.
Greek brethren?
Yes, your Greek
John
brethren.
Stamos.
I'm supporting the man, and you don't even watch him. This is disgusting, Pete. Disgusting.
I apologize, Ant.
Yeah, you should. Don't apologize to me. Apologize to the man, John Stamos.
Have you watched every of your Italian brethren?
I've watched a lot of Al Pacino movies. I've watched a lot of Robert De Niro movies, Joe Pesci movies.
Listen, I watched Sopranos way before you ever watched Sopranos.
That's true. That's true. You did. I will give you that. James
Gandolfini, may rest in peace, man. What a great actor. But no, I have not watched that. I don't watch to be honest, I don't watch a lot of Disney Plus stuff. Only for like Mandalorian, the Marvel shows, and Bad Batch.
You gotta watch Mighty Ducks. Well, not you, because you're a Mighty Ducks hater. But Chris, you need to watch Mighty Ducks.
All right,
you'll enjoy it.
But I need to watch Luca first. Lucas first.
Oh, yes. Lucas came out. Yeah, that's right.
Friday.
Hey, listen. That's Italian. That takes place in Italy. You need to watch that.
There you go. Man. I will watch that. I'm like, Avery, sit down.
Avery, sit down. That's a good way of doing it.
So nothing else?
Yeah.
I watched NXT in your house, but I'm not gonna talk wrestling, so.
You know why? Because it makes me yawn.
No, just because you get your feelings hurt when I
get
talk
my
about
feelings
it.
Hurt.
Absolutely, but No, I haven't watched anything else. So I'll watch Luca this week. I'm gonna try to watch the Hitman's Bodyguard, and I will watch Mission Impossible 4. And there goes Chris. Oh, and there comes Chris.
All right,
that's it.
That's
you watch anything else, Pete?
I haven't watched anything. Let's see. Since the last thing, well, we did a lot of the E3 things, and since Friday I got trashed. Saturday I recovered.
Yeah, Friday you got trashed.
Sunday he recovered. Monday he recovered.
Pretty much. Oh, Chris was there to see me getting trashed.
That's true.
Yeah.
So it's funny though. Before we go, I got to tell this story. It's pretty funny because I didn't remember this happening. But Chris arrived, right? And I was all surprised, and I was saying to everybody, like, "Hey guys, this is Chris," and all that. And it was like, "Oh yeah, from Slightly Off Topic." And I'm like, "You see that, Chris? You're a celebrity. Let's not get
I remember that.
A shot, a celebrity a shot."
I remember that, and we all took a shot. Yep.
So let's get this celebrity a shot, man, because he's a celebrity. So yeah, I don't remember that, but I guess I said that.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, he's not wrong.
There's a lot of things I guess I said funny in that night that I forgot. So it happens.
Do you we can tell you when you get drunk, Pete, because you start thinking everyone. That Rob told me that. Rob told me that, and it was like as soon as he told me that, you just started thinking everyone. You started thinking me. Started thinking Ryan, Dana, Jaden.
I'm like, dude, I'll be horrible if I ever won an Oscar for anything. I'll be horrible at acceptance speech because I'll be thinking for everybody in my life. I'll be like, hey, I got to think this. Literally, they have to play the music and getting me out of there. No, that's kind of how we've been doing. I'll be thinking everybody. You know what I'm saying? So,
yep.
Yeah, dude. But it was a good time, and I had a good time.
Did you use your arcade card?
Yeah.
I got you.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I did. It's just like I don't remember you don't
remember using it.
Well, either way, you got $35 worth of arcade card. I don't know if you used it or not. Yep, no problem. That's all I got. You guys got anything else?
No, that's all I got.
All right.
That's it, bud.
We'll catch you guys next week.
All right.
Until then, King Black Cherry.
Real Ant-Man.
Eat up.
Later.
All right, peace.